I used to be the guy with an overwhelming, just ridiculous amount of unfinished tasks on my to-do list. And I mean, I still am kind of that guy actually, but I was more importantly the guy that just couldn't finish a single damn one of those things, right? I had half-read books and business ideas that were rotting away in note apps that I'd never open again. I had YouTube channels that I'd do long enough for me to be like, I look stupid, or should I even be doing this? The thing is it wrecked me because every time I didn't finish something, I started to trust myself a little bit less. If you're feeling that, I get it. Like, I really do. I spent years thinking just like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Like, why can't I finish anything? You know, I'd wake up and I would just stare at my notes and reminders and tasks that I'd written down, and I just felt disconnected. Every time I'd look over something, it was just like I was looking at someone else's work. You know, I was forgetting things. I was forgetting not just where my keys are, but like important things that mattered to me. I'd open up these systems and organize Notion pages, the productivity apps that I'd spend hours setting up, and then I'd go to use them and nothing, zero connection to the work. It was like looking at a stranger's life, and I had no motivation to do it. I've always had ADHD and known it my whole life. This was different. It was like my brain was telling me, like, I can't do this anymore. And the problem wasn't that I didn't care. It was really that I was caring too much, and my system that allowed me to make progress just started to collapse. I just kept trying to fix myself with more systems and, getting things done, bullet journal, time blocking, Pomodoro, whatever the latest viral thing was. I'd think like, this is it. This is going to save me. And every time I'd end up half finished, another app with 3 days of progress or a half empty journal. But I wasn't failing because the systems or the effort was bad. I was failing because I thought that a perfect system would fix me instead of just doing the work. I bought courses and masterminds and consumed everything from productivity books and videos. And I just thought, if I learn enough, like, this will click. And it never did. So when the opportunity came up to buy Create and Go, I jumped on it because I thought Lauren and Alex had figured out something that I hadn't, right? They built something incredible. But when I took over the company, I started digging into the data, and not just the marketing metrics, but who was actually succeeding with the products and who was really getting real results and what people weren't, right? And I started to compare them. And it wasn't the smartest people or the ones with the best ideas. It was actually the people who finished, the people who actually finished the courses and implemented them instead of just moving on to the next one. At first it hurt. Like, it hit me kind of like a truck. It was that moment when it clicked for me that, like, damn, I'm not really any different from these people who are struggling. I didn't finish what I set out to do. I took a different route because, it was easier to make money and faster. And I realized in that moment, like, I am this customer. Here I am now running a company that taught people how to build businesses they love. And I couldn't even finish my own projects and the things that mattered to me consistently, right? I'd built a business, but it wasn't one that I enjoyed. After years of starting and stopping, I realized, like, I didn't have a motivation problem. I had a self-trust problem. Every time you tell yourself that you're going to do something and you don't do it, you're teaching your brain that your word doesn't mean anything. Your brain just stops getting excited about your ideas. And most of us avoid the things we care about because failing at those is actually going to hurt. And when you don't finish things, you never have to face the possibility that your best effort wasn't good enough. Eventually, I just realized, like, I just have to start building. I have to start working on something that's worth doing, even if I fail. And it wasn't some grand vision. I just wanted to build something, to hold all my work, my ideas, my whole life, right? I needed what they call a second brain, a place where I could store the pieces of me that were getting dropped, a structure that sort of carried the load when I couldn't because my actual brain and motivation wasn't reliable. Funny enough, like, I almost didn't finish building the products that I was working on. There were so many times that I wanted to quit thinking, this is just something else I'm going to abandon. But I don't know, something about this meant more to me, right? And over time, creating this and building resources that could help my friends and my family and me, it allowed me to start finishing things. Small things at first, right? Clearing emails, following through on simple things, then bigger things, projects I'd been avoiding, conversations I didn't want to have. And it wasn't because I suddenly have more discipline, right? I just figured out how to build an environment and a system that made finishing easier. Most systems, they assume you're starting from a place of strength, but you need systems that are going to start from a place that assume you're going to want to give up and make it easy to restart, right? And so I made my progress visible in ways that mattered to me. I started taking notes and writing things down in one system and making a done list and celebrating small wins. And slowly I started to see I'm not broken. I was just someone who needed different tools, and I needed to see that these small efforts added up and compounded over time. As I was getting my life back together, I started noticing that everyone around me was struggling with the same things, down to even the customers at CreateOS in the community. Everyone was trying to build something meaningful, but they were stuck in the same cycle of overwhelm and unfinished work and distraction that I was. This suddenly helped me realize this isn't about personal recovery or the personal freedom that I cared about. I want to live in a world where people are working on things that they care about, where they finish the things that they care about and they believe in their ideas and believe that they deserve to exist in the world. Most of us are drowning in information. We just couldn't figure out how to do it consistently. I started building the things that I needed when I started. I wanted to build a system and a process for finishing things and a community for keeping people accountable and helping them. It has all the things that I wish I had, right? Like templates and frameworks and systems that assume that you're starting from zero. And that's okay. If you want accountability or support from people who understand that struggle, that's the next thing that I'm building here. And there's a free trial if you want to get it, if you want to check it out. I want to keep it as affordable as possible and make it something that is for people who want to finish things, not just start them, right? A place where we can all collaborate and work together on finishing the things that matter to us. This isn't the end of my story, right? It's something that you have to wake up and choose every day, right? The difference between the people who finish things isn't about willpower and discipline. It's about finishing something that's worth doing, even when it's messy or imperfect or takes longer than you thought. The world doesn't need more perfect things. It needs more finished things. It needs your ideas to exist in the world, not just in your head. And finishing things is a skill. It's not some innate ability that you're born with. It's something you can get better at with practice and the right support. I understand what it's like to have these things that you care about and to not finish them. But I want you to start asking yourself what needs to get done today and put yourself in a position, an environment where it makes it easy to finish those things so that you can start to build trust with yourself and you can start to build a relationship with finishing and completing things that feels good and feels like it works for you. After all the years and a lifetime of struggling with not finishing things, it wasn't some specific strategy or even the tools and the resources that I'm building now. Those aren't what helped me to make finishing a part of me, right? They helped, but the real thing that got me there was accepting that you can live a life full of distractions and full of maybes and I'll do this one day, but the ideas, the visions, the dreams that you have in your mind that you're excited about, that make you just think man, this would be so fun and I want to share this with the world. Those are the things that are worth doing. At a certain point, you have to accept that those things can either be perfect or they can be done. They can't be both. I want to build resources in a future and an environment where we have a community that supports one another in actually doing those things, not just learning what to do, but actually doing them. This is just sort of like a a welcome back, right? Jumping on the channel to say, this is what's coming. I am somebody that has struggled with this my entire life, and many of the people in the audience struggle with finishing things and following through with things, whether it's a business or a book or an idea that they want to put out into the world. And so I hope that you'll follow me along in the process of sharing the things that I've learned and the tools and the resources that have allowed me to finish more things and start to build a better relationship with myself, my creativity, and my business. I hope that if you made it this far, that this helps you kind of better understand me and where I'm coming from and my hope for how I plan to grow Create and Go. And I hope that you'll stick around for it. If you're one of these people, if you were struggling with these things just like I was, then I hope we'll see you in the community. Jump in there, introduce yourself, drop in the comments what you've been working on, the things that you're struggling to finish. And as I start to make more videos, I'm going to talk about more of the action steps and the tangibles and the actual systems that I implemented to help me finally overcome this struggle and break this habit of not finishing things in my life. I hope it'll help you do the same. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Perfect. Okay.